Hey guys, MC Titan here, and you're looking at the version 2 seated calf machine without the pad on it right now because I'm going to give you some examples of why it felt like shit in my previous video. I gave it a really harsh initial thoughts reaction, but then again, it was my initial thoughts, and when you buy something, you really don't want it to be a piece of shit. I'm going to show you that I tighten this part down here where you put your knees. That padding really sucks, and how much it shakes back and forth. It just feels rickety. Like if you were in a building and it was like that, you'd be like, I'm gonna die. But anyway, it's a moving part, so it's kind of expected a little bit of a shimmy, but it seems a little extreme. I'm also gonna go over what other people have thought about this machine after this video, but on the weight horn too, it did the same thing. It just went back and forth and was clanging, even though I had those bolts tightened way down. I'm going to show you a solution on that. And on the back of the machine where the seat is, it also shimmies. I'm going to show you that. But in these next videos is examples of other people on YouTube with the machines and what they didn't like about it.
If you're debating whether to buy it or not, pretty good machine. Only problem I had was the padding on it. I had to change it because it wasn't padded enough. When you go heavier than 45, the padding really starts to dig in your skin, which hurts a lot.
The thing I really didn't like about this machine was this part here, namely right here. Because when I first put this thing together, I don't know if I was doing something wrong. I can't see that I was doing something wrong because there's nothing I can change about that. But this piece here did not fit on this whatsoever. Like it would fit like slightly on, but I couldn't bring it in all the way to get this screw all the way through. And I don't know what I was doing wrong. It took me, that was the longest part about building this machine. This machine should actually take less than an hour to build. This part took the most time.
That I didn't like about the machine is that while I'm performing the movement on this machine, I do feel like it kind of leans more to one side than the other.
Charles says that this machine is solid, very solid. The only thing that instead of a round pole with round pad, I'd like to see flat plate 3 to 4 inches wide with a much sturdier pad. When the weight goes over 150, the current pole pad really digs hard into the thighs. And then down here, this guy says it's a very good calf machine. The only thing that when you do more than 4 45s, which means 2 45s on each side, the padding is not enough, and I had to change it because it hurt my legs because there is not enough padding. Otherwise, great for the price. I am going to try some things. I'm going to add washers to the weight horn and to the back part here and see if that can help eliminate that. There's nothing really I can do about this shaking around. I guess it is what it is because it's a moving part. Alright guys, I'm gonna show you how this wiggles back and forth, and I'm gonna attempt to solve the problem. I'm grabbing it from both sides. As you can see how it goes back and forth on there. And this is tightened down. All right guys, for the weight horn, I was able to slide one of the washers in between this little teeny gap right here, as you can see. And I was able to slide a washer in there and line it up and put this in with its normal washers and tighten it down. And now it has no give. This doesn't go back and forth and hit this plate. So there's a solution for that. All right guys, I moved one of the washers from this side and slid it right in here to eliminate any kind of gap in between the bearings and the plate. And then I put both washers on this side, and there is no give. There is no give. Oh my God. But then when I raise it up, I might have to loosen this just a little bit, but now that I raise it up, it goes down a little slower and comes up a little tougher. So I'm going to loosen it just slightly and we should be good. All right, everything's tightened down. We're ready to go. Let's try with the 55 calibrated plates to start this mission. I want you to see here that when it goes up and down, that it's pretty straight. I mean, it does have a little bit of wobble side to side, but definitely a lot less. And that's what you're aiming for. You're aiming to keep that thing steady so you can focus on your calf work. Now we're going over a side view. You know, I like to give angles so you can really see the machine in my videos. All right, so I upped the weight, got the 35 alphas on the side, so it's really 245s on each side, and I was able to bear the weight, unlike previously on my initial video. That's because I had my knee position at a better angle. All right, I added a couple more 25s, one on each side, and I'm going to attempt this. I noticed that it digged into my thighs even at the great angle, and the weight was too unbearable for me. I reached my limit. Hey guys, MC Titan. Now in my first video, it seemed to offend a couple people. Who knows who else it's going to offend in the future, because it just was broadcasted like yesterday. But a lot of people love this. It's an example of the American way. You want to love something that you paid as much as you could for compared to other products. And for the money, this is a good purchase. I mean, I had to make some tweaks to make it to the point where I'm like, I can live with this. You know what I mean? I can make it do what it do. So my initial thought was my frustrations over the machine when it first came in, how the hardware was everywhere, how the seat pads were lacking. These are really lacking, man. You do need to upgrade these if you're going above 2 plates. I determined today that you can go to 245s on each side and be okay with this. It was just about positioning these pads to the furthest point of my knees, like Carlo the Solution on Team Solution pointed out. Thank you, Carlo. That increased it from the 35s on each side to a 55 and then a 35 to be able to bear that weight, okay, and get through it. But anything above that, you will need to upgrade these pads. I've got these Mai Tai bags that I can barely fit in here underneath these pads if I want to go even heavier. So maybe something just a little bit thinner than this, if you have it. I even brought out my Suzuki Grand Vitero headrests and tried that. And it seemed to be more sufficient than these. So that's not saying much because these are pieces of shit too. So I can, you know, for the money, for the price that you pay on this, I would say go ahead and buy it. You have to make some tweaks, and if you're willing to upgrade your pads, then it will get you through. I apologize to anybody that I might have offended on my first video, that was my initial thoughts, initial reactions to the machine, because it wasn't set up right from the start. You have to do some things to make it right. Good luck.